This is going to blow your mind. The year was 1955. In Topeka, Kansas, Westboro Baptist Church was born. Its founder, Fred Phelps Sr., quickly established a reputation for fiery rhetoric and a rigid interpretation of the Bible. Phelps's church remained relatively obscure for decades, known mostly for its strict moral code and vocal opposition to anything deemed contrary to its interpretation of Scripture. Few could have predicted the path Westboro Baptist Church would take. From its unassuming beginnings, the church evolved into a lightning rod for controversy, drawing national and international condemnation for its inflammatory protests and hateful messages. The church's tactics, often involving picketing funerals, sparked outrage and ignited debates about the limits of free speech in a democratic society. At the core of Westboro Baptist Church's ideology lies a stark interpretation of the Bible. The church preaches a doctrine of fire and brimstone, emphasizing God's wrath and the damnation awaiting those who fail to adhere to its moral code. Central to this belief system is the conviction that God punishes America for its tolerance of homosexuality. The church views natural disasters and tragedies as divine retribution, a manifestation of God's anger towards a morally corrupt nation. Homosexuality is condemned in the strongest terms, viewed as an abomination deserving of God's harshest judgment. Beyond its online presence, Westboro Baptist Church is known for its aggressive public demonstrations, transforming solemn occasions into platforms for their message of intolerance. The notoriety of Westboro Baptist Church peaked with their targeting of military funerals. Believing that American soldiers were dying as punishment for the nation's tolerance of homosexuality, the church picketed the funerals of fallen service members. Carrying signs like, "Thank God for dead soldiers," and "God hates fags," they injected themselves into the grief of mourning families, sparking outrage. In 2006, Westboro Baptist Church picketed the funeral of Marine Lance Corporal Matthew Snyder, who was killed in Iraq. Snyder's father sued the church for intentional infliction of emotional distress, and the case, Snyder v. Phelps, reached the Supreme Court. In a landmark decision, the court ruled in favor of Westboro Baptist Church, upholding their right to protest at funerals on the grounds of free speech. The decision sparked controversy, reigniting the debate about the balance between First Amendment rights and the protection of individual dignity. The case highlighted the complexities of navigating the boundaries of free speech in a democratic society. The impact of Westboro Baptist Church's actions extends far beyond the picket lines. Their hateful rhetoric and provocative protests have left deep scars on individuals, communities, and the national psyche. For the families of fallen soldiers, the church's presence at funerals compounded their pain and left lasting emotional wounds. The LGBTQ+ community, the primary target of the church's vitriol, has borne the brunt of their hateful messaging, contributing to a climate of fear and intolerance. Beyond the immediate targets of their hate, Westboro Baptist Church has sown division and distrust within communities across America. Their actions have sparked counter-protests and fueled heated debates, often escalating tensions and creating an atmosphere of anger and animosity. The hateful rhetoric and provocative actions of Westboro Baptist Church have been met with widespread condemnation. Political leaders and religious organizations have denounced the church's activities, characterizing their message as abhorrent and their tactics as reprehensible. Society has responded with counter-protests aimed at drowning out their message of hate with messages of love, tolerance, and support for the LGBTQ+ community. These counter-protests, often organized by veterans groups and interfaith coalitions, have drawn thousands of participants. Legal efforts have also been undertaken to limit the impact of Westboro Baptist Church's activities, particularly their targeting of military funerals. While the hateful legacy of Westboro Baptist Church remains, their dwindling numbers and the widespread rejection of their ideology offer hope. The outpouring of support for the LGBTQ+ community and other targeted groups signals a societal shift towards greater tolerance and understanding. Education plays a vital role in combating prejudice and promoting understanding. By teaching tolerance, empathy, and critical thinking skills, we can equip future generations to reject hateful ideologies and embrace diversity. Open and honest dialogue is essential to bridging divides and building understanding. By embracing our shared humanity and working together to create a more just and inclusive society, we can ensure that the hateful legacy of groups like Westboro Baptist Church does not define our future.